In our most sleep deprived moments, our children will teach us exactly what we need in order to learn and grow into who we were created to be. These are the loving lessons we will learn whether we were wanting to or not. I'm Irene Googe, your sleep coach, and I'm on mission to educate parents on how to help their young children sleep. Welcome to the journey. Welcome to Revive at 5, where we're going to talk about how to rest and reset to get the sleep that your family needs. And this is actually a perfect setup for what we're talking about today when we think about perfectionism, because I want to share with you that I've been running into some tech issues, and this has been really frustrating because it's one of the reasons why sometimes I choose not to go live, because if I have these issues, then I can get flustered and annoyed. And it really kicks in my perfectionism and also that uncertainty of like, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Because I don't love to be late like this. But again, like I said, better late than never. And last week, when we were talking about getting outside, working on things that we could do to get in that fresh air and fresh light, I ended up having a coughing fit in the middle of the Revive in 5. And I just want to share with you that it was a really hard thing for me not to want to go in and re-record the session because my perfectionism was kicking in. And the story I started to tell myself in that moment was, what will people think? How could I not know to, mute the mic? And then starting to shame myself for the things that I didn't maybe do, or also feeling kind of embarrassed in that moment. And I think a lot of times when I think about what happens to us in our parenting journey is that we can get to this place where sometimes we're like, tell me the strategy or the tool of what we want to be happening. But what ends up happening, the reality of it in that moment is that we start telling ourselves a story. And that story then ends up creating this state of being and this state of mind. And one of the things we talk about is being rested, being calm and confident. And it's really hard to feel that and show up in a way that we are being rested when we are feeling judged or maybe afraid or maybe feeling shameful. And a lot of times that's what happens because I like my videos to be perfect. I want things to just work out and like look really good. And I get nervous going live because I'm like, what if I forget to say something? And then I'll have to like re-record it. And so sometimes realizing that done is better than perfect is part of the process. And one of the mantras that I need to embrace, because sometimes that is what actually needs to happen in order to take imperfect action. The other thing too is that if I want to teach my boys, which I've been trying to do since my son's kindergarten homework experience, because let me just share with you that when my son was in kindergarten, he had this homework assignment and he was coloring. And I said, Connor, don't worry about it. Just let it go. It's okay. Like, we'll just tell the teacher, like, we didn't have time to do it. And here I saw my 5-year-old son. He's just like beating himself up and he's so upset. He's like, no, I can't. And he was just so frustrated and like determined to do it right, even though it was hard in that moment. And I really had to pause and reflect. And I was like, why can't he just let it go? And the question was really geared towards me. Why can't I just let things go? And you know what? He had only watched me and observed me for so many years of not being able to let things go. And so when he was stuck in this place where he didn't know how to take that next step, he was stuck dealing with these big emotions because he was trying to be a perfectionist too. He wanted to get it done, even though there were some big emotions that were coming up for him and he didn't know what to do with them. And so today I want to share 3 things that have helped me be able to overcome some of this perfectionism, especially when there's uncertainty in parenting. Because again, remember, what ends up happening is we're telling ourselves this story that's putting us in this state that's really taking us away and robbing us from being present in the moment. And so one of the first things that I've had to learn is to learn to sit in the discomfort. And part of that process for me is using the Breathe Love mantra. Now, I have a free guide where you can download the Breathe Love mantra and learn about this framework. But I've been using this since I had my home daycare because it is a process for me to notice the things that are triggering me. And in this moment, and last week when I was having this coughing fit and I was having this urge of like, okay, no one saw the live. It's okay. Like, I'm just getting started. I could just redo this. I had to sit in the discomfort of it, like not being perfect and embracing the done is better than perfect. And like I would have told my son with that kindergarten homework, like, let it go, move on and take the next action. So I had to recognize. And so in the Breathe Love mantra, we're going to listen and notice, like, what are we listening and noticing and observing in our body? What are those emotions coming up? And for me, I was definitely in a place where I was judging myself. I was thinking about like the quality that I was putting out there. I was afraid. I was having this fear of like, what if people don't like it? What if they are listening to it and they're annoyed that I was coughing? Even though I have watched other podcasts or been in my group coaching sessions and the mentor coach is having, a cough or a sneeze, and it's okay. And I don't bring any judgment, but I was really judging myself harshly in those moments. So sitting in that discomfort, recognizing that, and one of the things we don't realize is that sometimes those emotions, as they're coming up for us, where I was having this grief and this judgment and all these things coming up, this human experience, it really usually only lasts 90 seconds if we can give ourselves permission to embrace that. And so I was observing those emotions that I had, and then I was working to sit in the discomfort, which of course then allowed me to have like the scheduled pity party. And the reason why I bring that up is that sometimes I would allow these emotions to run rampant for many days, and then it would suck all the joy out of my day and week. And so I recognized like I had made the decision that I'm going to feel these emotions. And I didn't realize there was also a current of some underlying grief because my dad's birthday was actually yesterday, but like a couple of weeks ago, I've already been thinking about him. Like, I can't send him a text. So even though we had a strained relationship, one of the things that I found just comfort in is that every year I still texted him on his birthday, even if I didn't get a response. But right now, if I text him, it's only going to go to whoever has my dad's phone. And that's, my brother. And so just realizing like in this moment, like that is a grief that I have, like it is something that I need to, allow myself permission to practice being in that moment, feeling that discomfort. And so that's my second point, where sometimes we need permission to practice dealing with some of the emotions, because that is something that I did not do really well. And these are the things that take us away from having that rest and that calm confidence when we are in our parenting journeys. And the same thing was happening for me when I was hopping onto this live, which was not working out for me. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway, even if it's late. And so learning to practice that is part of the skill. And I just want to thank you for your patience, those of you who are in the group. Just, knowing that like, hey, she said she was going to be on at 11. She's running late, having some tech issues. But if you're listening to the replay, then I just want you to realize that sometimes these things happen and it is not the end of the world. And that is actually my third point, is sometimes working to overcome that perfectionism and that uncertainty means that we need to reach out to others. And so by reaching out to my business coach and to the women who are in my mastermind and just being able to say, hey, I was having some tech issues. I went live, but then I had a coughing fit. Just being able to say it out loud and then being able to remind myself that done is better than perfect was the relief. Because what I would find for myself is that in my perfectionism, I would be trying to tell myself a story and beating myself up and getting into a shame spiral, which would then keep me stuck and keep me in a long-term pity party, which is what I had practiced for so many years. And so being able to work towards overcoming some perfectionism and uncertainty doesn't mean I have it perfect. It means I'm still going to have relapses. I'm going to have moments where I want to go back to the old way and be comfortable in that shame, but realizing I don't want to. I'm choosing not to. And so part of that process is taking the time to sit in the discomfort, taking that moment to breathe love, then being able to give myself permission to practice what it is like to feel and deal with those emotions, and then being able to reach out to others and being able to communicate that. And really just having a community and a mentor or coach to be able to talk through and process this is so beneficial. And literally, I just got done in our sleep coaching community, and just being able to talk through and process the things that we're dealing with day to day. Having a place and a space where you can talk to someone and work through things can help us get to that place of rest and comfort and helping us feel calm and confident in the decisions we're making in our parenting. So I hope that helps you as you are navigating your next week. I hope that you can take some time to perhaps notice and observe the feelings you're feeling and sit in that discomfort and give yourself permission to practice. And then, of course, reach out and share with someone, because again, that's going to help you continue to take action and take those next steps. So thank you so much for joining me here in Revive at 5, where we're going to be able to reset and rest and reset to get the sleep we need. Thank you so much for being here, and let me know what part of these 3 steps might be one step you might need to practice. Let me know down in the comments what makes the most sense for you to practice in this upcoming week to get the rest you need. Thanks for tuning into today's show. You can see all of the details and show notes below. And as you go out into your day, I hope that you'll make it your mission to be calm, confident, and rested as you lead today. Sweet dreams.